Hi, this is Fernando Rebozo with ShoreSalesExpert.com. The reason why I would like to invite you to check this small presentation is because I'm going to prove to you the business case for doing a short sale versus staying in your home. Never mind about the strategic default, never mind what people are saying to you, whether you are supposed to be doing what the bank says to do or what you're supposed to be paying what the bank says to pay. What it matters here is that you make a decision based on your financial situation, and make sure you realize that whatever you decide from this point on will make a big difference in your life 2, 3, 5, 7 years from now. The business case for short sale versus staying is very simple. It comes down to two people, Mr. Smith and Mr. Jones. Both persons can purchase a home for $500,000, and the mortgage is $400,000 on each of these properties. They now worth only $350,000. So let's go and find out what is the monthly payment from both of them from the year one. Their monthly payment is $2,800 per month. So year one, Mr. Smith decides to short sell his property when he realizes that this $500,000 home is only worth $350,000, and he's living in a house with being underwater for $150,000. Mr. Jones, on the other hand, in year one, he's got a wait and see attitude. Year number two, Mr. Smith already sold his house as a short sale, and now he's renting the property for $1,500 a month. A lot of savings from the $2,800 he was paying before for his home. And now, because he's saving $1,300 every month, now he decided he's going to put $1,000 on the side so he can actually save this money every single month. Mr. Jones, as a matter of fact, on the other side, he decided he wants to stay, and then he decided to bear it and wait. Year number five, Mr. Smith is still patiently waiting for the market to turn. Meanwhile, Mr. Jones has to take an extra part-time job so he can continue paying his $2,800 a month payment for his home. Year 7. You know that this time Mr. Smith is smiling because even in the worst case scenario, if his home would have gone to foreclosure, 7 years have passed and his credit score is back to normal. Regardless whether he sold it as a short sale or he lost the house as a foreclosure, year 7 is when his credit will come back to normal. Meanwhile, Mr. Jones is barely making ends meet. 7 years has passed, and his house is now worth $417,917. This is an average of 3% per year based on what has happened on the last few years and what's happening in the next few years. On year 10, still, Mr. Smith is saving $1,000, and then Mr. Jones basically still stuck with the house, still paying, and actually not really going too far. In year 13, Mr. Smith is still saving $1,000 a month, still living in the same place. Meanwhile, Mr. Jones, now his house is worth $499,000. And remember, the house started with $500,000, but he cannot sell this home and break even at this time because he's got to wait a little bit longer, because he still got to pay realtor commissions and closing costs to sell. Very important point. So by the time he's not ready to do anything yet, and Mr. Smith on year 15 having a vacation in Hawaii. Meanwhile, Mr. Jones, now his house is worth $529,000. Do you know what? It's not enough. It's not enough to actually sell his home and pay all the commissions and closing costs, because on a $500,000 home, commissions alone is $30,000, and that's not taking into consideration what he's got to pay the closing costs on the property. So we have to actually go to year 17. If Mr. Jones would have sold his home 17 years earlier, he would have been in the same situation of Mr. Smith, because his $1,000 every month, a 5% return, had earned him $321,860. That is compounding interest year after year from just